CHD Connects Hearts YouTube interviews. I am Mama C or Christy Pace. And today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Nora Mzibri. Did I get it?
Yes.
Got it. All right. So Nora is 34 years old. She is from Columbus, Ohio. She is married and she's been married for 11 years. She has 3 children, a 20-year-old who was adopted, and 2 biological children, an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old. So I'm gonna let her tell you her diagnosis, and then we'll chat. So what is
right.
Your diagnosis was? I stopped writing.
Okay.
I started to write it down and went, I'll let you say this one.
Okay, sounds good. So I have pulmonary arteria with ventricle septal defect, transposition of the greater arteries, and dextrocardia.
That is a mouthful, girl.
Yes.
Goodness. And you were diagnosed after birth or in utero? Do you know?
After birth. They didn't do a lot of testing back in the 90s when I was born.
True. So how long after you were born did they figure it out?
Actually, it's a very interesting story. I should have been born a stillborn. But my mom, so my mom is from a small island off the coast of Africa, and she had strep. So this is considered a third world disease. She ended up with rheumatic heart disease due to strep. So strep actually ate at her mitral valve, and she needed to have surgery. So because my mom had heart disease at an older age, they had her come in a day before her due date to monitor her and then to monitor me, and my heart stopped beating. So I was an emergency C-section.
Oh,
And that's when they found
wow.
out that I had all of the issues that I had.
Wow. I mean, not that I'm glad she had strep and has heart disease, but had it not been for that,
Exactly. I would not be here.
you would not be here. So, it's funny how everything seems to happen for, you hear this cliche, everything happens for a reason, right? But I know even in my life that it's like the most horrible things that have happened to me have come out to be something very positive.
100%.
So that's just amazing. Wow.
Yes. So that's how I ended up here. First surgery at 3 days old.
3 days.
They put,
I was getting ready to
yeah.
ask. Okay. So 3 days old. And what was the surgery?
It was just to put a shunt in to let me grow.
Okay.
And then I had my Fontan surgery in 1992. I was about a year and a half.
That's, it's funny. They try to wait longer now for that.
Yeah, I was definitely an interesting case. They weren't really sure what to do with me. From what my dad tells me is they weren't originally planning on doing a Fontan. They had another plan, but once they opened me up, they realized their original plan wasn't going to work. And so they put
Gotcha.
in the Fontan because most people who have Fontans have a different heart condition than I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
I've not heard your condition, although I couldn't say it again. I haven't heard your condition associated with the Fontan.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Now they do the biventricular repair, but that wasn't created when I was born, so they had to finesse something.
Wow. So it was just this is what we have available at the moment, and that's what we're going to attempt.
And it worked.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so you said you've also had multiple caths, of course. And
hmm
how have those gone? Have you had coils? Have you had
Yes, I've had
shunts?
a lot of coils and stents put in. Last year they put in 5, which was the most I've ever had, and that actually became pretty painful. I never had that many, and they put a really large one in. Um, but But yeah, I've had every year that I've had it, I get coils put in.
Every year?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the heart transplant list now. That's like
Right.
the next option. And so they do caths every year now. So for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been getting them done every year. Prior to that, I had it done before they let me get pregnant.
Yeah.
And then I had it done after I got pregnant, like after I had the baby. And then I had it done again. So I've had it done at least 6 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are you now at the transplant level? Are you definitely starting to fail?
Yeah, so they have put me in Fontan failure, but I'm only a status 4 because I am still able to do some daily lives of activity, so I can stay home. My biggest issue was that my fatigue was getting really bad. So I was able to like I could sleep really well at night, but I would wake up and like get ready to go to work when I used to work out of the house, and I would be driving to work and I felt like I was about to fall asleep while driving.
Dang. Yeah.
And
That
then
exhaustion level is bad.
it was really, really bad, and my oxygen level was going down. I mean, I already had low oxygen. Like I usually was, my normal was 88%. But then it was going down to,
Even after the Fontan, that's as high as you got.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And now sometimes like it goes down to 82, it goes down to 86. If I try to go up the stairs, it's really hard for me. So I've been struggling with that. And originally, what they were thinking of doing was me getting the biventricular repair, since that's what I should have gotten. And we
Right.
talked to the doctor in Boston, who is really well known for it, and he agreed that we could do it. I would have been like the oldest patient to get it done. But of course, they do all the blood work and they do all the testing to make sure like I didn't have too much antibodies in my system, because if it didn't work, then I would have to have a heart transplant. And they were like, I'm assuming you're at 30%, which is low, and that's what they like. But once they did the blood work, I was at 78%. And
Uh,
so they sat me down and were like, we can still do the surgery, but our biggest concern is if the surgery doesn't happen, you would no longer be eligible for a heart.
oh, that's a tough spot to be put in.
Exactly.
I
So
mean, gosh.
we all agreed that it would just be smarter for me to stay home. So I quit my job and everything and just take care of my health and just get on the list.
So when was this?
I have been on the list officially for a year, and I got on the list August of last year.
Okay, so just a little over a year.
Yeah.
Oh, of 24 or of 23?
Oh, of 23.
Okay, so a little over well, about a year and a half almost.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a year and a half. So being on well, let's go back. You said you were at Fontan failure stage 4. Can you tell our audience what that means and what is that a top level or a low level? Just if you could
So
tell that to our audience.
okay, yeah, so stage 4 is the lowest level. Stage 1 is the immediate level, like they needed a heart yesterday.
Yeah.
And then stage 2 is like they need a heart within the next couple of weeks. Stage 3 is like they need a heart within the next couple of weeks or months. And then stage 4 are usually people who can wait a couple of years, and they can stay home. Usually, if you're like stage 2 or 1, you're already in
You're
the
in the
hospital.
hospital. Mhm.
So I'm still at a stage 4. I get seen every 6 months. And as long as I can still stay home, they're comfortable with me staying home, which is what I prefer since I have children.
Of course.
But they definitely recommended, because I was working as an eye technician, so I was on my feet all day. So they wanted me to stop that and like, stay more of like a desk job. So after a year of not working, I decided to get a job because I was like losing my mind. So I got a job where I could work from home and it's just on the
Part
computer.
time
So
and it's part
yeah,
time.
and it's
Yeah,
part-time. I can't work more than that because I do have really bad fatigue. So I do tend to nap every day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your children are in school.
Yes.
That helps you as well, being
Yes,
in that school.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how is your husband dealing with it? Let's start with your husband. How's he? Well, let's start. When you first started dating,
Yes. So he
how
knew from the
far in did you tell him about your heart condition?
Oh, I told him really, really, really soon because I met him close to the summertime and we would go out to the lake. So he saw my
Oh, they saw
scars
your
because we
scars.
would go swimming. Um, and so I explained, I have heart disease, but I'm not gonna lie, I was in my early 20s. So I was like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. Like I'm fine, is what I used to say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he started coming to like my appointments with me.
Oh,
So he started going to, even as just my boyfriend, he would come to my appointments, and that's when he started learning. Um, and he was fine. Like he didn't have any issue. He knew that like it was going to be a big deal maybe in the future, but for now, I mean, he wanted to be with me, so it wasn't a big deal.
that's beautiful.
It is. Uh-oh.
As a lot, it says a lot about the person,
Yes.
and on the other side, I mean, I don't know if I could fault someone who said, if they would honestly say, I don't, I'm not capable of dealing with that.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's definitely
Yeah.
a conversation to be had. I think it was
Yes.
good that we already had like his child from the first marriage, who was the one I adopted. So,
Yes.
if I couldn't have kids, I think he wouldn't have cared.
Mhm.
Um, so that really helped too.
It is, and it's a tough conversation to have.
Yes.
And that's something that a lot of kids in their 20s, like you said, I'm fine, I'm great, and that reality of, but down the road I may not be. And
Right.
even without the CHD issue, so many people don't have those in-depth conversations prior to marriage. What
Very
about
true.
children? What about finances? What about, what are your thoughts? How do you feel? What do you want? They don't
Mhm.
do that. So with this, I think it's even more required. I think it's more, that you
Yeah,
have this
100%.
conversation.
Super
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's wonderful that he was that supportive
Yeah.
and wanted to learn and wanted to come. So that's great. So he's been great with all of this.
Oh, yeah, he's like my biggest supporter. If he sees like I'm getting tired, but I'm like pushing through, he'll be like, sit down. I'll take care of it. Sit down. I got it.
Good.
And so he's always super helpful. He cooks, he cleans, he takes care of the kids, it's great.
That's amazing. So
Yes.
which one of you is the positive half glass full and which one of you is the negative half glass empty?
Both of us are pretty positive. I think
Okay.
sometimes when I go, like I just feel sad, like, oh my God, I always have to have an appointment, or this is just, it's so unfair. I get a little bit where it's half empty, and he
Yeah,
like fills up my cup essentially, and he makes me feel better. And he's like, you're valid, all your feelings are valid, but just remember you're strong, you're doing so good, you're an awesome mom. It's just awesome.
that's fantastic that you have that within your husband. I mean, that's a
Yes,
true partnership right there.
100%.
That's
I'm
great.
very lucky.
Yes. So do you struggle a lot with that? I mean, I say it's a different world, it's a different lifestyle, whether you're the caregiver, whether you're the patient, whether you're the family member, because it does have its own nuances that you don't have on the outside.
Yeah, I do struggle because I was like, when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, I was very active and had a lot of energy. And like, I could clean the whole house and cook dinner and stay out late and all these things.
Superwoman.
And yes, and now I'm like, I can only do one thing at a time, and sometimes it just, I have to be okay with it, but it does make me feel sad that I can't do the things that I used to be able to do. Or if I do those same things, it has to be planned, like
Yeah,
today I'm gonna tackle this. Or if I know that I want to cook today, I'm gonna take a nap right before so I know I have energy. And it's definitely a different way to live for me now.
yeah. And how about your children? How are they dealing with it?
So my oldest daughter understands everything because she is older and she's 20, so we have spoken to her about it. She struggles, but she says to me, she's like, "I like to stay strong in front of you and I cry by myself," which makes me sad, but I mean, I know she has her father to lean on. He's
Yeah,
very supportive of me, so I know he can be supportive of her. My younger two kids don't really understand what are going on. They don't know that I'm on the transplant list. I don't think they would understand that. They understand that I have a special heart. That's what I call it. I have a special heart, and that's why I have more doctor's appointments than you. So, because they always ask, how come you have to go to another appointment, you
I'm
know?
sure. Didn't you just go, Mom? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I explained that I have a special heart. And just recently, my youngest, my 7-year-old, she's like, Mama, when I become an adult, will I have a special heart too? And I said, No, I was born with this heart. You have a very healthy heart, and it's going to stay that way when you're a grown up. She's like, Okay. And then she went to school.
So did you do genetic testing prior to pregnancies?
um, we think we did it with my 8-year-old. We did not do it with the youngest, but it's because the youngest so she wasn't planned, and she was born as a micro preemie. She was 27 weeks. My water broke early. It was just all sorts of stuff just happened way too fast, and so we didn't have all that time to get to that point.
Did you do
Um
it on yourself though prior?
no,
You didn't do it. Okay. So you all knew you got cleared for pregnancy and
I
just
did.
went into that. So you didn't do genetic testing between yourself and your husband to see if there was anything genetic to be passed.
Um, I think we did. For yeah, we did because they wanted me to. But there was nothing concerning except my heart stuff. And so when I was pregnant, they checked her they while I was pregnant, and then after I gave birth, they sent her to cardiology just to be sure.
Okay, good. And both heart
Yes.
healthy.
Yeah. So my youngest has a little heart issue due to being
Well,
premature.
that's the preemie.
Yeah.
Yes.
But has nothing to do with me. So
Yes.
that's awesome.
Good. I'm so glad for you all.
Oh,
That's
thank
good.
you.
Yes. So I can only imagine. I mean, just looking at you, listening to you, I mean, in our conversation, you like to read, you like to do things with your kids, you want to do canning. You seem like a goal oriented person.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so I can imagine these last couple of years has been challenging for you emotionally and
100%.
psychologically. Yeah.
Yes.
So, how are you handling, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I use the wrong words, how are you handling losing that part of you?
Um, I think that what I have been doing is learning things that I know I can do that might not be the same as the things that I used to be able to do. So instead of being able to go hiking, let's say, I'm learning how to preserve food at home. Or like I also want to start my own garden this year once the weather gets better. So instead of going out into nature, I have it in my backyard.
Create your own.
Uh,
Good.
that's sort of what I've been thinking and doing. I do still want to try to stay active, but we live across the street from a park, so I can go walk there if I want to. Just little things I think help a lot. And we still go to like fairs and things like that. We just take it slow.
Yeah.
And I always have to like mentally prepare myself before we go. And I usually like to take a nap before we
I was
go
going to say,
anywhere.
yeah, and rest before you go. So, have the
Yes.
kids noticed this difference in you?
My younger two haven't because I think that's I mean they were super young and then I started to slow down. They do like when they're talking to other family members, they will say, "My mom takes lots of naps." That's what they say. But other than that, I think they think it's pretty normal. Just because this is what they're remembering.
Yeah,
My oldest daughter remembers things differently because I was way more active with her since I was younger.
sure.
But she's 20, she doesn't live here. I think it's a little bit different now. Our relationship, she's an adult or whatever.
Yes, yes. Yeah, both of my girls are adults now, and it's very different.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm at the grandparent stage. So
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, so it's my grandson. He's got HLHS, and
Oh, okay.
he's had all the surgeries. He's had Fontan, and he did a cath. So he was a year
Okay.
out from his Fontan, and then did a cath, and had to do some coils.
How
So
old is he?
yeah, he's 4.
Aw, so
Yeah,
cute. It's a
yeah,
fun
he's interesting.
age.
Oh, it is. It is. So, what would you say your biggest um I don't want to do the challenge yet. I want to do that separate. What would you say your biggest positive reward has been for this journey?
I think it has made me appreciate every little thing of life. I appreciate every single day. I always find something to be thankful for. I'm just happy to have a home, to have a car, to have my family. Like the things that are really important are very special, and I like that I have like such a strong connection to them.
Yeah,
Um
yeah,
yeah.
that's beautiful. What would you say your biggest challenge has been?
I do feel like I sometimes am missing out.
Okay.
Like for example, with the kids, if they want to do something a little bit more active, I can't do it for long and I have to be with my husband. Or like for example, if we go swimming, I can only be there for so long before I have to get out. And then, they spend more time with their dad then because I couldn't do it for as long. So sometimes I feel like I'm missing out, but I do make sure that I'm still there. I'm physically present.
You're
I'll be sitting
present.
on the bench or something, but sometimes I wish I could be there longer.
Yeah. So you're the one taking a lot of pictures.
I am. I am.
Yeah. So even though you're not physically there, I mean, you're there
Yes.
and you are making sure that those memories are accounted for
Oh, 100%.
forever. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's beautiful. Even though but I understand the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you battle with that? I mean, what do you worry about the future with with all of this? Or what do you worry about with that?
When it comes to the future, I definitely worry about I mean, I worry about dying right now since I'm really scared about having heart surgery. I mean, a heart transplant. I'm just like I almost just don't wanna do it just because I feel like it's not gonna work. It terrifies me, and my kids are so young, and even with my 20-year-old, she still needs me. I still wanna be there for her graduating college and getting married and having kids. I don't wanna miss out on these important things, and it just makes me worried that I'm gonna leave sooner than I would like. Like, I'm not ready to go, sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is the fear? Why do you know why you're afraid it's not going to work?
Oh, I've always had like a good tuition about like my health. Like when they said that they felt a little uncomfortable with me getting pregnant, I told them that I knew I could do it and I was going to be fine. I like knew it, and so I
Yeah.
did it. Um, but with this one, it's just so serious. I don't know, it just makes me so nervous.
Do you think it's the magnitude of it, or do you think it's your intuition telling you something?
Think it's the magnitude of it. Like, I even told the transplant team, I'm like, "Once you take my old heart out and you put the new one in and it doesn't work, can you just put
Just
the
put the other
old
one
one
back
back
in.
in?"
Just
And they're
put it
like,
back
"No." It's like, "Oh god." You know? But I have met people who have recently had heart transplants, and they've talked to me about how it is, and it does make me feel a little bit more secure. They do say it's definitely hard. The first year is really hard. But they told me that they didn't realize how sick they were until they got their
in. They
new
got the
heart.
new one.
Yeah, so that does give me hope because I still wanna do so much, and if this will allow me to do that, then that's what I want, you
Yeah.
know? But it's
Well,
still scary.
have you taken any steps? And this is going to be a deep topic. Have you taken any steps to make death your ally?
Oh, that is a deep question. I mean, I have talked to my husband about my wishes if
Mhm.
things were to go south. We have the power of attorney paperwork. We just have to fill it out. Um, and he knows what's important to me, and that's really what I want. I've already contacted the two people, like, they need you to have three people listed just in case your first person isn't able to be reached, the second person, then the third person to make decisions. I've already talked to them to make sure that they would be willing, so that's good. Um, but that's as far as I've gotten. I don't like to think about it much, to be honest with you,
Sure.
because I am trying to live just every day in the moment.
And you're
Be
present. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to be as present as possible. But yeah, I it does scare me.
Yeah. So I went through years ago. I'm 56 now, but in my 30s, I was very ill, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And this went on for about 10 years.
Oh,
And I started having really bad heart palpitations. I had a 24-hour monitor, and then I went to a 30-day monitor, and they were just like, no wonder you're exhausted. I mean, the palpitation levels I was having was, I mean, off the charts. It was just constant, constant, constant. And I was exhausted. I mean, just exhausted. I would sleep like 16, 17 hours. I'm like, and still just so tired. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I got to that stage where I didn't know if I was going to make it. I honestly thought I was going to die. And I even changed my will and wanted to donate my body so that they could find out what it was, so that nobody else had to go through this. That's how bad it was. My children were young. They were, let's see, they were at that stage of things, they were about 7 and 13 when I was very sick,
that's hard.
and so worried about the future for them, and that I was going to miss all of those things.
Mhm.
And it just broke my heart. So personally, I mean, I wrote them letters, for different
Yes.
stages. They don't even know this. To this day, they don't know that I did that.
Mhm.
I wrote them letters for different stages of their lives. And I wanted to make sure that they had my voice, somewhere along the line if I didn't make it. Um, I don't know why I shared that with you. I guess that's what happens when we do these things, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did
So
try to make a video,
yeah,
but I couldn't. I cried too much. I couldn't even speak.
that's
But
why I did the letters, because I
so
tried
I
that
might do
too,
that.
and it did
That's a
not
really good
work.
idea.
Because I was like, well, this isn't the way I want them to remember me. So they were
Yeah.
blubbering idiot, right?
Yes.
They're like, oh God, there's mom, That's not what I wanted. So I went to the letters, and that is why.
Oh, well, actually, thank you for that. I will probably use that.
Please, please do it. And it was very cathartic,
Mhm.
um, because the fears that I was feeling through that, for myself and for them, was quite massive.
Yeah.
But after I put those down, I found a peace. And I felt like, okay, so if this is what happens, then I know that they're going to hear my voice, and I will be with them in these moments that I was so afraid I wouldn't. And it just made me feel so much at ease, so much better. It removed a lot of my fears. So I hope that
Okay.
that might help you.
Yes,
Um,
it will.
I hope so. I hope that
Thank
does.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So they did find out what was wrong with me, by the way. I ended up having Lyme disease,
Oh my gosh.
undiagnosed for a very long period of time. Yes.
My
Uh,
goodness.
yeah. So I went through treatment, and now I can work for 18 hours a day instead. So,
Nice. Oh, that's
yes.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lyme disease is definitely really hard to diagnose.
Yes. So it took a long time, but we got there. But um, like we said earlier, when things happen, see, it's amazing that because of those things that I went through, I can relate to some areas with the CHD patients that I would have never been able to, and that fear is one of them. So
Yes, 100%.
yeah. So what do you have plans on discussing with the children? Because what happens, well, let me ask this. Being on the transplant list at the level 4, does that mean if a heart became available, you could do that transplant now? Or
Yes.
is that okay? So how are you going to handle if that does come up? I mean, because if that comes up, it's a whirlwind. I mean,
Yes.
you're going like this quickly.
Mhm.
So how are you going to deal with that with the children? Or have you thought
My
about it?
husband and I have talked about it. It's it's really hard because my 8-year-old is already a worrier. Like she worries about everything. It's very actually a little concerning because we're just like, why do you worry so much? And she very and specifically me, she'll come up to me and she says, "Mommy, I don't know why, but I worry about you all the time." And it's very interesting because I don't understand it. So we're afraid to tell her now because I feel like it's going to make her worries even worse. Like she struggles with sleeping right now because she's worrying about just random things. I actually am planning on talking to her primary when we go for her well
Yeah.
check. Just because now she's 8 and I'm like, I don't understand this. But so we've
Oh,
decided that we're not going to say anything until the time comes, and then my husband will have to talk to them because at that point I probably will already be in the hospital.
yes. Yeah. Um,
Um,
is she really sensitive?
she's very sensitive.
Okay. So she's very sensitive. Outside of her connection with you on this, do you see that she's intuitive?
But yeah, she is intuitive and
Okay.
she's like a huge empath. Like she's the most
Okay.
empathetic
That's where I
person
was
I've ever
going.
met.
That's where I was
Yes.
going. Okay. So I'm assuming that you're also very empathetic.
I I think she's more than me, I feel like, because I mean, she's very similar to me, that's for sure. But I feel like she's so much more, and she's only 8, and I feel like
Yeah.
mentally she's already like way higher.
Yeah.
Um, so it's quite, but it's so high that she doesn't even understand it.
Well, and
And that's
that's what, yes. So I was the same and grew up that way and did not fully understand it until my late 40s. Um,
interesting.
well, good and bad, right? So I went through all that time thinking that everybody out there thought and felt and was like me, and realized that that's not true.
Exactly.
So, do you work with her on that? Do you help her build on
Yeah,
that?
I always make sure that she knows that she is loved, that she knows that she is safe, that our home is a safe place, and that we are always here. Like sometimes even when we put her to bed, her and her sister share a room. They don't want to be separated, which is quite interesting because we have an extra room, but they're like, no, no, we want to share a
Well, they're
room.
like twins at that 8 and 7. I
Pretty
mean,
much, yeah.
yeah,
And every night she'll ask me like, "Mama, are you gonna go downstairs?" And like she would prefer I stay in my bedroom because she wants to be in the same level as me. And I always tell her like, even if I go downstairs, I am home and you are safe. You are in your safe space. Don't worry. Nothing is going on. I'm just going to have mommy time, relaxation time. And
yeah,
she's like,
but
"Why can't you do that in your bed?"
with her being an empath like that, she already knows something's going on. She knows.
Yeah, we do have a
She
feeling, and
knows.
that's why we do talk about the special heart.
Yeah,
And also my husband will always tell them, like, remember, mommy has a special heart. That's why she needs to rest extra. So
yeah,
please don't bother her when she's resting.
yeah.
Um,
I'm just wondering. I'm going to spitball this and something to think about. Um, she knows something's going on intuitively. She knows it. So she probably needs some validation with that.
yeah, I think that's why
I
I want
think
to talk
that
to her
that would,
doctor
yeah,
to
that would
see.
remove some of her anxiety having the validation that what I'm feeling is actually true,
Yes,
if that makes sense. Yeah,
that does make sense.
yeah, sometimes that validation as an empath, because otherwise it's here. It's all out here and we're trying to pinpoint it. We're trying to put our finger on it and we can't. But once you can pinpoint it, then you go, okay, now I know. Right. Then it's not this elusive thing, then it is the concrete thing. And that's just my 2 cents as being a very, very high empath. I'm extremely high empath. And when I don't have that concrete, I feel lost. I feel very anxious. I'm trying to find the spot to put it and I can't. So once I get it, then I'm like, okay. And it just goes. Whoosh. So having that
Okay.
validation of that emotion is really, really important.
All right. Yeah. We'll
Otherwise, they
continue to check.
question you, then they start questioning yourself,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
let's fix that. So sorry for the tangent, but glad we got to do that. So
Yes.
I'll be lifting her up too. So I'll be
Oh, thank you. Yes.
lifting. So what would you say as a 20-year-old
Hmm.
with a congenital heart defect, looking at marriage, looking at the family, you know, the dream, the fantasy? What would you say to that person now that you are here and looking back? What would you say to your younger self?
Um, we did it. I always felt like I always knew I was going to get married. But I always questioned the children, if I was going to be able to have children situation. And so I would tell myself, you did good, keep going and enjoy yourself. Because when you're young, I got to enjoy myself a little bit better than now.
Yep, yep. All right. So now can you imagine yourself at
Mhm.
60?
Oh my God, I hope so.
Yeah,
I I tell my husband, like, you know how like a lot of people, at least my age, wish they were younger. I want to grow old. Like that is my goal. I want to be old. I want to grow old with my husband. I want to see him get wrinkles and I want to get wrinkles. Like I want those things. Like I don't even dye my hair and I have gray hair and I'm happy.
me too. I feel the
Yeah,
same. I didn't think I'd be here. So I'm letting my grays show because I earned them and I'm proud of them.
exactly. I
Yeah,
actually shaved my hair last year. I shaved my whole head just because I was like, I only live once and I want to do it. And what am I to worry
I
about? You
love
know?
that.
So I shaved my whole head on January 1st of 2024. So this is a years of hair growth and I haven't touched it. I haven't cut it. I haven't dyed it. And I have so many grays and I love it. I have
I
no
love that.
problem.
Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
you were just a force to be reckoned with, girl.
But yeah, I'm not gonna, I mean, yes, it puts me down sometimes and sometimes I feel sad, but at the end of the day, I'm still here, I'm still trucking and I'm happy,
Yeah.
you know? And I
So
look forward to my future. We still make future plans. It's not like we've stopped doing
good.
that.
Good. Yeah,
Uh,
don't ever stop.
exactly. And so
Yeah,
like I cannot wait to be old. I want to be a grandma, all the things.
I love this. So, would you be willing to come back and let us know how your progress is going?
Of course.
I would
This
love
was
that.
great.
I
Yes.
really enjoyed you. It's just
Oh,
been
thank you.
wonderful. And I'd love to meet your husband maybe next time. And,
Yes, yes.
and
He's
maybe
awesome.
and maybe after your surgery, maybe we could talk and meet the kids and see how they're doing with things.
Sounds good. Yes.
Up to you all on that, but I would love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that sounds great.
So you know how to get with me. If you know, if things shift, if things change, if you want to do another one, you just call me.
Hey,
Okay.
that sounds good.
I'm so happy you joined us.
Yeah.